fullback, and it's definitely worth pointing out the England bench, which is stacked with Cowan, Dickey, Genge and Stewart, Cunningham, South Curry and Pollock, 6-2, with Ben Spencer and Marcus Smith the only back replacements. Whereas New Zealand, with players like Takiao, Williams, Tosi, Darry, who's in a late inclusion on the bench, Satiti, Ratimer, Leonard Brown and McKenzie, they have got plenty in reserve as well. Andrea Pagliari, the Italian, is the ref, and we're almost ready to go. Matt Dawson, bring it on.
Oh, I tell you, just to show how much it means to the England team now, I just watched the bench come off, the smiles on their faces, patting each other on the back to say, can you believe we just were part of that? That was epic. In their face, full frontal. The frontal attack from New Zealand in the haka. I mean, it was 5 yards away. It was on the edge of your seat stuff. Loving it.
Here we go then. New Zealand from right to left. Bowden, Barrett, all that experience. 144 caps in the All Black shirt. And Alex Mitchell, England's scrum half, who's really owning that jersey these days. Comfortable, competent clearance up to halfway. New Zealand line out. Paul Grayson.
Yeah, brilliant start from Mitchell. Barrett goes long to the right-hand corner. Mitchell overcalled Ben Earl. Smashed the kick into the Kiwi territory over the halfway line.
Well, Cody Taylor, 107 times he's played for New Zealand. Him and Dane Coles, two of the great hookers, have commandeered that shirt for so long. One in the line out nicely by Lord. Now they work it in centre field through to Pye. Over halfway go the All Blacks in their yellow boots to a man as Roygaard throws a dummy and makes a couple of metres. But England tackling him, 15 in from touch, just inside the England half. 0-0, early stages, 5 Live and BBC Sounds on a brilliant day of live sport across all of our networks. There's boxing, massive football games, huge rugby union encounters. We're always building up to the Ashes, which is under a week away. It is all happening on 5 Live, BBC Sounds, and across Sports Extra 2 and Sports Extra 3 as well. New Zealand just going through a few phases, Matt Dawson, but so far so good from the England defence. That's a big hit coming in. Is that Sam Underhill, who loves this fixture, doesn't he?
Yeah. New Zealand just searching for the overlap. Half a gap.
Big tackle coming in by Freddie Stewart on Fainga'a Anuku. New Zealand tried to get on the edge but couldn't quite get away, so England will have an advantage. Just the knock-ons, this advantage will be over in no time. I imagine now as Ben Earl comes against the grain and goes up to halfway. Twickenham enjoyed that. Now Mitchell's going to the sky. Look out for Tom Roebuck, who will chase this one if Mitchell's kick is on the money. It looks to be on the money. Matt Dawson, seal of approval. Up went Roebuck, he didn't get it. Lakai did, in New Zealand possession, but the first sign there of the tactical battle. What will New Zealand do from this ball? Will Jordan, who's hunting down the All Blacks try-scoring record of Dougie Howlett of 49. He's got 44 in 53, an outrageous strike rate. Scott Barrett, just outside their 22. Roygaard on his left boot. Does he see some space? Across goes Freddie Stewart. Eyes on the ball like he's in the outfield at the Gabba. He takes it in nicely and puts a high up and under up. He'll chase that himself, Stewart. He's got it! Brilliantly done, Freddie Stewart. As he told us in the build-up, didn't have much luck against the Wallabies, but that was superb from the England 15. Now George Ford, Ollie Lawrence straightening, just about tackled by Ardi Sabert, but the crowd like that when it's lightning fast ball, and it's Bewa Boso in some space down the left. Good stuff this from England as they edge up to the 22. Allianz Stadium in Twickenham, enraptured by this as two high-quality teams go at it. Mitchell to Ford, almost at the 22. England might have numbers here. Dingwall, good ball. Stewart gets it on to Roebuck. Roebuck in the 22. Stepping from right to left, the sailman. Excellent build-up play from England. Here goes Underhill. Crashes into a couple of New Zealand defenders. But England only 7 metres out. It's a great start. Ford's going cross kick. This one will just sit up, though, for New Zealand, who dotted down for a goal line. Paul Grayson, talk us through that and the final bit of play.
Breathless, all came to an end with a slightly miscued kick from George Ford. Right option, execution not quite up to it, but Freddie Stewart talking about how difficult it is for fullbacks to deal with the ball when it's in the air. What it has brought back is a good old-fashioned kick and chase for a 15. Freddie Stewart got up, ruled the airways there, grabbed the ball back. It's the same as a line break. You're catching the ball 30 yards upfield, everybody's onside, and then England into flat-out attack. George Ford playing very flat.
George Ford from the goal line drop out. He puts up, oh, look at that. Oh, Matt Dawson likes that one. It's a spiral bomb. It's nasty. And New Zealand get nowhere near it. And they do tidy it up eventually. through Carter. Oh wow, Beauden Barrett, one of the great All Blacks, but he was nowhere near it. And now Beauden will clear, and he does. Ironic cheers from the crowd. But Paul Grayson, you're our kicking expert with 400 England points. Talk us through what George Ford has done there.
Yeah, spiral bomb. It is an art, and he's absolutely nailed it from the long dropout. He's got all the time in the world. And what happens to the ball as it flies up into the air? It turns over, starts to come down, and then the last 15 metres it'll move one way or the other.
England go quickly from the line out up to the 22. Dingwall finds Benno, slap bang in centre field. New Zealand on that ball, but England resource the ruck just about. Slowish though for Mitchell. Ford wings it out to Manny Fewa-Boso, who's up against Fainga'a Anuku, 11 on 11. Mitchell to the left, all England here. Alex Cole spins away as he was sat down by Parker. Ford, half a little break maybe there past Lord, who just about gets the England 10. But this is an enterprising start from England with the ball in hand. No points after 5 breathless minutes. Mitchell, Fraser, Dingwall. He throws a great offload. Underhill. Underhill couldn't get it away. They've got to keep playing though, in case that was tackled back by New Zealand. Referee Piardi, confident though it was a knock on. Oh, I tell you what, we haven't got to expected tries yet in rugby, but that would have been. Well, that's a 2-on-1. If Underhill could have just gotten that way, got that away to Lawrence, England were in.
Yeah, Underhill's gone for a fend with the right, and like a hook around pass with his left hand. The ball just slipped out of his grip rather than giving it just a flat palm pass. Oh my goodness me. I mean, England's manipulation of New Zealand so far has been first class. They are finding all the half overlaps. They're connected. You've got Ford at 10, you've got Dingwall at 10. I mean, New Zealand at the moment seem to be chasing a couple of shadows.
But as Scotland found to their peril, you've got to take your chances. Whatever version of the All Blacks this is, they will still make you pay if you don't execute in their 22. And if Underhill did so well after that beautiful bit of play from Dingwall, and if he could have got it away to Lawrence, England would have had the game's first points. But now New Zealand, as they do, get the ball away nicely from the danger zone. Roygaard's kick, high quality there, Matt Dawson with the left boot, and it's inside England territory for the first time in a while.
Yeah, it's, both scrum halves are genuinely challenging for top spot in the world, aren't they, on their day? And I think they probably have looked at this game as a real challenge against one another, and so far both of them have been faultless.
Matt Dawson, a World Cup winner, a man who's played many times against the All Blacks, involved in some of the most famous wins in English rugby history. Paul Grayson as well has won 10 here at Twickenham against the All Blacks, our top team on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. The lineup wasn't great from New Zealand. Now they're 10 metres inside their own line, so another feather in the cap of the English set piece and defence. It's drizzly out there. It's not particularly wet though, so conditions shouldn't have too much of a bearing, and Freddie Stewart is showing his intent with the ball hand. Might be some numbers here for England down this left-hand short side. Lovely ball from Ford. Lawrence out to Fewa-Boso over the 10. Still Fewa-Boso almost up to the 22. England bossing this opening 7.5 minutes, but yet to score any points. Who's in there? Is that Savea? Oh, he's on the ball. Oh, he's just so good, Ardie Savea, and he's won the penalty. England got behind New Zealand, but who else but Savea in there, nicking it, winning the penalty for the All Blacks.
At the end, good play again from England there. Poor kick from Beauden Barrett. Gave Freddie Stewart an opportunity to counter-attack, carried the ball right into the centre of the pitch. England set up down the blind side. They know where Stewart's going to carry it, gives them half the pitch to play. Ball over the top. Lawrence to Fewa-Boso. And then, as you highlighted in pre-match, Chris, Ardie Savea, one of the very best in the world, head over the ball.
They're not having that as a ruck, though, Grace. 2 New Zealand players in there, and the fact that Savea's gone in there and had just a look to his left to the referee to say, "Oh, am I okay?" He knew very well he was not okay, because if he knew he was right on the law, he's head down over that ball. I think referee's got that wrong.
New Zealand line out, halfway line, Beauden Barrett out to the forwards in the middle of the park. I tell you what though, some players, a former All Black number 7 was the master at this. the refs look at them and go, oh, he's so good, maybe he is on the right side, but certainly that was a bit borderline. But England are in trouble here because New Zealand kicked it, and then the back has meant that Ben Earl has had to scurry towards his own goal line. He's only 5 metres from England's try line. That's the danger when it gets messy, the ricochet after the aerial game. The ball can go anywhere, and England, having spent plenty of time in the New Zealand half, 9 minutes gone, 5 live, BBC Sounds live at Allianz Stadium in Twickenham. England are camped on their own line. Mitchell's kick is a good one, looks for touch, very good one actually, Matt Dawson, isn't it? From that position, he's almost up to halfway.
I mean, that's on the angle, that's 50 metres. That's a class, under pressure, charge down already, and he knew he had to just take it a little bit further back towards his try line to hook it round. That's a proper clearance.
New Zealand line out. Wasn't straight, but as England didn't compete, it's fine, and Tapia sets it up for New Zealand, 40 metres out. What are they going to work here? Roygaard comes to the right. The ubiquitous Lakai seems to be everywhere in these opening stages, the number 8. As New Zealand, around about the 10-metre line, going to the right, now coming to the left. Lakai again, short ball to Fletcher Newell, the tight head. Cam Roygaard, Beauden Barrett stationary. Will Jordan's up from fullback. England's defence so far so good. There's Surveyor up against Itoje, two totems of their teams up against each other. The ball though from Barrett, who went into scrum half, is loose, and England have forced New Zealand back to the halfway line. Huge collision coming in. Big Simon Parker carrying the ball as Roygaard sees half a gap, and he almost got through. Joe Hayes, the tight head, had to be alert, and he was. So even though New Zealand looking enterprise in Paul Grayson, England won't really mind this round the 10-metre line.
No, they're not making too much progress. They get two or three phases, and England get enough bodies in the breakdown to slow it down.
Underhill's off the line to take down his opposite number, Ardie Surveyor. Still New Zealand attack around the halfway line, but not going anywhere too threatening at the moment. So chance for us to check in with Nikesh at Walsall,
where Colchester, the visitors, have just taken the lead. Walsall 0, Colchester 1. They've deserved it, the visitors. They've been getting crosses flying into the box, and it was another low cross into the 6-yard area. Samson Tovide with a simple chance. He put it away. It's Walsall 0, Colchester 1.
Thanks a lot, Nikesh. Yeah, we got reports of the Cross League 1, Cross League 2. There's huge football later involving Wales in Liechtenstein. That's on Sports Extra at 5. Greece against Scotland. Huge game for Scottish football. That's live on 5 Live from Athens at 7:45. Beauden Barrett's kick, is that a 50-22? Yeah. Oh, it is. Talk us through that one, guys.
Well, Freddie Stewart had a great start to the game. He's made a couple of mistakes with his last 2 touches. One, the flat back that put England right back to their own 5-metre line, and then he's, after England's defence frustrating the All Blacks attack, it was a poor kick away by them. He had lots of time to clear his line, shanked the kick. The Kiwis get the ball back, drill it into the England 22 on their right-hand side. 2 mistakes in the last 2 minutes of play by Freddie Stewart.
You just see that, the excellence, the experience of Barrett there, not worrying about the counter-attack, even though it may have been on. Spotted the 50-20 to 22.
Well, it was actually England's ball because the ball was passed just back inside. I thought it was 50-22, but I think Roygaard's ball, he was on the halfway line, so referee Piardi calling it England's line out. The ball has then bounced all over the place, and it's a New Zealand scrum. So you're just seeing guys already. England had a great first 10 minutes. But you've got to come away with points, haven't you, when you have that kind of pressure against these top teams, against the South Africans.
I don't think
and New
anything
Zealanders.
changes, Chris. Over the years, I really don't think anything changes. You know you are going to get half a dozen chances against New Zealand, maybe. Genuine chances to score tries. You've got to take 50% of them, minimum, Grace.
Yeah, and that's the true test when you get right to the top of the tree. The opportunities are few and far between. And therefore, if you can take one, they're all the more precious. Looking for patterns in the early stages here, I think England have got New Zealand's set play attack pretty much under control. As long as they keep winning the collisions, they don't have to compete at every breakdown, but they're never far away from a really good low tackle. Guy Pepper, Sam Underhill and the rest lost their last 2 lineouts, which is you know, Dawes as a 9, you're suddenly looking at, well, hang on a minute, we went to 2 guaranteed ball. Josh Lord nicked it. We've gone to Alex Coles in the middle because he's light, we can get him up. Scott Barrett's nicked it. Where do you throw next? Whether that's a defensive line out or an attacking one. It's like, 2 is a wobble, can you fix it? What are the brains on the sideline doing? What are the messages coming on? But you don't want to have part of your major attacking and defensive weapon and part of your set piece breaking down this early.
Yes, we're spot on that. And around the fringes, England are not really competing too much over the ball. They're fanning out. So you saw Roygaard have that little dummy and go to keep them tight.
Here in New Zealand from this set-piece scrum into the English 22. This is where England have to be really, really accurate, keep their discipline, because New Zealand will ask questions in this part of the pitch. Big tackle coming in, Underhill on Parker, but there for the All Blacks, who are methodically making a bit of ground in the English danger zone now. Still 0-0 after 13 compelling minutes on 5 line. Barrett, wide ball, Fainga'anuku. He's only 7 metres out. He tried to get his arms free to a couple of lurking supporters. There's Lakai again. How good is this guy at number 8? 5 metres out, New Zealand. Options left and options right. Roygaard, out it goes Proctor. Proctor's 2-on-1 here. Stewart has to take him. He's up to the line. He had a man to the left. They could have walked it in. Fainga'anuku's over and scored. That is what New Zealand do. England had their chances, didn't take them. New Zealand 1:22 entry. They lead by 5.
There you go. Right on cue. What the top teams do. It wasn't flash. It wasn't fancy. Great lines of running. There was one lovely ball from Beauden Barrett over the top, but the running decoy runners from the All Black midfield fooled England into thinking they need to come up hard, press, stay tight, zip the ball out wide, and all of a sudden England are on the retreat around the fringes. These top sides do not mess about.
Lovely footwork from Lakai, wasn't it? Off a pass. Underhill, they sent 4 players to the line. Underhill bit in fractionally, so Lakai's lateral movement as he caught the ball meant they got onto the front foot. Penalty arm out advantage from the referee in the next phase, and then a strong finish on the left-hand touchline.
14 minutes gone. England 0, New Zealand 5. Beauden Barrett for 7. It's just grabbing to the right, so no extras from Barrett. And England, who's seen Matt Dawson to have New Zealand's phase play snuffed out quite nicely, they just came alive, didn't they, when they went into 22? Suddenly everything seemed to have that bit more intent about
They're
it.
so pragmatic. I mean, they're so well connected. They know what gets them the meterage. It's 1 metre, it's 2 metres. They don't know when not to be fancy, and then when it's all broken up, you'll see. And there were opportunities to give flash offloads, but New Zealand not interested.
England kick off. Has that gone out on the full? Yes, it has. So back we go. And New Zealand have done so well here, haven't they, Paul Grayson, just to deal with that fast England start. And now the momentum just heading back in a New Zealand direction.
Yeah, and some of that handed to them by England's mistakes and some by New Zealand pressure. Don't forget that tries the result of England losing a line out 10 metres from their own line, which came from a mistake, a poor clearance by Freddie Stewart, which let Beauden Barrett drill the ball into the corner. So they're layering pressure on themselves here, England, and that's a big mistake from George Ford.
Well, you can hear referee Piardi talk to both forwards as we get ready for this scrum. I mentioned it was a huge day for Wales football as they look for a World Cup qualifying playoff. Scotland away in Greece. They're only a couple of games away from the promised land, the Scots. But what about Wales rugby against Japan in the Principality? 5:40 commentary on Sports Extra 2. Ireland Australia's big. That's 8:10. That's also on Sports Extra 2. So stay with us on Sports Extra 2 for all your rugby. Manchester Derby, we've been hearing from Sani. We're across League 1 and 2. Boxing tonight. Eubank Ben rematch. There is so much to look forward to as New Zealand, this time I think, do execute the 50-22. Matt Dawson.
I mean,
yeah, off the scrum. That's so clever. He just picked and he kicked and he found grass, and now New Zealand have the line out.
We say clever. If Anton Dupont does that, we are talking like he's superhuman. Can't underestimate how awesome a bit of skill that was.
New Zealand's line out won by their skipper Scott Barrett, Ardie Savea. Roygaard, here's Beauden Barrett, Scott's brother. They go wide nicely. Will Jordan's almost in. 4 metres out. Dangerous stuff from New Zealand, who want a second try. To the left they come, out the back. Beauden Barrett Here's Tapia, wide it comes. Cody Taylor's going to walk this in, isn't he? He steps Alex Mitchell. New Zealand are in again. It's so clinical from the All Blacks, and they lead by 10 at Twickenham.
All came from a kick-off that was a foot too far. Landed outside the line. New Zealand get a scrum back in midfield. Cam Roygaard's kick lands a foot infield. That's the difference. And then they got outside England from the set piece with ease. Thought Will Jordan was going to skate in from a long pass, and then England bent out of shape. Almost static ball, and then Tapia bouncing bomb over the top to Taylor on the wide outside. England chasing shadows.
Yeah, Will Jordan chasing down that record. He should have given that ball all day long. Carter's waving his hands in the air, saying, "You kidding me? I'm strolling under the sticks." But you know, if that's that is the lesson for England. Any kind of errors from England, whether it's a long kick, whether it's a knock-on, whether it's a penalty, you're gonna get punished.
Oh, 12-0 New Zealand. Beauden Barrett splits the posts. Full time for you, Sandy, in the Manchester derby.
City 3, United 0. City blistering. Kanak heading before the half hour. A slide finish from Shaw, and Lauren Hemp smashing a third before half-time. Top bins and a star turn from her. United struggled from the off like last week. Took an hour to muster much. Back-to-back defeats for them. City stay top of the WSL. Manchester City 3, Manchester United 0.
Cheers, Sandy. We're at Fleetwood in a moment as New Zealand prepare to clear their lines. Goodness me, the England players need the Twickenham crowd now. It started so loud, the crowd here, but New Zealand have managed to sort of just ride out that blistering England start, keep England pointless, and then scored two big sucker punches of their own, two quality tries. Fainga'a and Cody Taylor, and New Zealand lead by 12 after the first quarter as Beauden Barrett chips and Ben Earl gets back to clean up. So let's go to Show Joe at Fleetwood.
It's Fleetwood 0, Swindon Town 1. Swindon deservedly lead. Centre-back Ryan Tafazoli with the opener. He met a cross from the right with his head, thumping header into the net. They deservedly lead. Fleetwood 0, Swindon 1.
England with a high ball, dropping just over the halfway line. Back goes Stewart. There are those crumbs he was talking about. Alex Coles is onto it. And England have a good bit of ball now. Can they respond? They desperately need to respond. They trail by 12 at home against New Zealand as George Ford goes back inside to his forwards. 10-metre line. Ford's in at dummy half now. Joe Hayes trucks it up. And New Zealand come off their feet, but it's still there for England. Ford's going to go to the sky again. It's England have lost their shape a bit compared to where they were at the start of the game. So some good direct running from Ben Earl. Here's Alex Mitchell preparing to drop this into the box. A tester for the All Blacks back three. His kick perhaps a little bit long, this one, Matt Dawson. Will that be taken by New Zealand and Jordan? Yes, it will. He calls the mark. Right, our feature game in League One's at Lincoln, who are going well. Rob Law.
They are indeed. Lincoln have top of the table in their sights. A deep cross. Francis Okoronkwo was there, hung in the air to guide his header in. 2-2 now for the Everton Lawney. Lincoln 1, Doncaster Rovers 0.
Thank you very much to Rob Law as New Zealand come forward again, and again England get onto that through Guy Pepper. So England are just edging the aerial battle, but still yet to score. Freddie Stewart kicks for Roebuck. Jordan is back there. Will that go out? Yes, it will. Just dribbles out of play, Paul Grayson. But England have New Zealand camped on their own 5-metre line.
Yeah, and as much as it draws some groans from the crowd, that little dribble in behind, at least he's making, as Freddie Stewart has to leave the field for an HIA. Marcus Smith comes on temporarily for now, running the ball in behind, overlays some pressure. England can attack the All Blacks set piece here, try and force a turnover like the All Blacks did at the other end of the field. So not the end of the world pushing the ball in behind.
New Zealand go over the top of the line out where Lakai takes it, tackled by one of England's centurions, Jamie George. Remember, England have a whole new front row, a whole Lions front row, guys who all played in the test matches in Australia. Luke Cowan-Dickie, Ellis Genge and Will Stewart. And Roygaard, I mean, you mentioned Antoine Dupont's kicking game, but Roygaard's kicking game off left boot, Matt Dawson.
Oof, yeah, different class. He looks like he's stepped it up because of the occasion, because this New Zealand team know that it's a massive game, and who are the players that are going to step up for you? England will ask the same question. Another line out gone.
And it's tidied up by Parker, so New Zealand are getting into England's line out, aren't they? They've had 95% possession in the second 10 minutes of the game. The first 10, all England, no points. Then New Zealand have bossed the second 10 and they scored 12 points. Just over 20 gone. England 0, New Zealand 12. Now England attack through Ben Earl, who's got Marcus Smith on his inside. Here goes Marcus Smith. His first touch of the ball with Freddie Stewart getting a head assessment. There for Mitchell. Ford inside to Underhill. He gets it away to Faye Boso, who's down the left touchline. Still going. Can he offload? They were walking it in if he could. Not quite. England have to score now. Alex Coles. Oh, he's held up, isn't he? Yes, he's been held up. A familiar tale. When you play New Zealand, you've got to take these opportunities. Great work from England. Faye Boso so close. Coles came in support and he is held up, and it will be a goal line dropout. Paul Grayson.
Amazing catch and dummy, and then a release of the ball just under our noses here by Alex Mitchell, and then sleight of hand to the extreme by George Ford. Inside pass after Earl's run. Faye Boso looked for all money like he was going to score, and then full on the charge came Alex Coles, and incredible technique from the All Blacks. They knew once he's over the line, he's dead in the water. Cam Roigard sat underneath.
It's got to go through the hands.
Yeah.
It's got to go through the hands. Alex Coles has had white line fever there, thinking he's going to run through a couple of All Blacks. He just pops it off his right shoulder. Sam Underhill, I think it was, and he strolls in.
Oh, Ben Earl's making yards with the ball in hand now. Alex Mitchell to the right. Coles, Northampton teammate, he comes back inside. He was held up by Roigard to the number 9. What strength from the All Black scrum half. Ben Earl, centre field. 20-odd metres out. George Ford deep. Fraser Dingwall is stepping. Marcus Smith was lurking to the left. England 0, New Zealand 12 after 24 captivating minutes in southwest London. Sam Underhill sets it up. Oh, the stoppage here. Is that for an England player who's down? It might be Alex Coles, actually. No, it's not Guy Pepper, I think, is it, Grace?
Yeah, it is Guy Pepper. Looks in some discomfort.
Yeah, arms and legs both sort of writhing around in a bit of pain, and physio's holding round the head area, so looks like it may have been a knock to the head, neck, so let's hope that all is well there. I mean, I can't, well, I don't know how many entries England have had, how many opportunities, how many times we've been on just about to get out of our seat to celebrate, but it's got to be 3, it's got to be maybe even 4, and 0 points for England. It's got to be addressed. England have to take their chances. The positive is that they are getting them, and it looks like to me, Grace, that actually that opportunity to get into the broken field, to throw a bit of caution to the wind, it looks like it's something that makes New Zealand a little bit more vulnerable.
Yeah, it does. They look human in defence once it's slightly fractured. Ben Earls carried the ball 2 or 3 times there fantastically, managed to get his arms free, link up with Marcus Smith in counter-attack. Once they're on the front foot, England's attacking shape looks really good. They are causing some problems, and you're never going to get it right every time, but when you do get a gilt-edged opportunity like the one Coles had and you pass it up, the next opportunity just carries that bit more significance, doesn't it? You can remember as players where you're like, oh God, it feels like it should be 12-all, and we're still 12-0 down, and then you get to half-time and the scoreboard hasn't changed. You've had 2 more good chances. Very strange thoughts come into your head about, is today the day, how are we going to make it happen? And the All Blacks get another 3 points, and suddenly you think you're an absolute mile off, but you've played well.
And you just need those 1 or 2 players from England just to grab someone like Coles at at the little huddle that they had then, to say, listen, Alex, don't worry about it, no drama. Next job is the scrum. Let's put some pressure on the scrum. Let's try and manipulate New Zealand. It's our ball. Which shoulder do we distract someone like Alex Coles, because it is going to be rattling around in his mind that was an opportunity for 7 points. That's for us to commentate on I get frustrated about, not for the players to worry about.
Well, talking of opportunities, Matt, how about this one for England?
Perfect.
The crowd sense it. Listen to it, the noise just
Marcus Smith
rise.
sat in behind here, Chris.
Yeah,
all options.
England have got a scrum just to the left of the post. 17, 18 metres out. Ford left, Smith right. They come left to Ford, to Lawrence. Ollie Lawrence is through, and he's got to score, and he does score. And that's got the crowd going, and it's just what England needed. Pretty route one, but real power from Lawrence, and the composure to dot down and get England up and running.
Yeah, I mean, it ended up looking route one, but there was a lot of decoy, there was a lot of falling, they probably played that type of play off a scrum numerous times, as though New Zealand have got lots of options to try and defend. Marcus Smith sits in behind. He has a little bit of a dart right, because he's the danger man, isn't he? But no, all of a sudden it was a little bit more basic. Get down the short side, try and create the danger. The one-on-one danger was Lawrence. It wasn't Marcus Smith. But what Marcus Smith did there was just as important, just to cause a distraction so that Lawrence could do the damage.
Well, great stuff, Ollie Lawrence. 37th cap for him, really growing into an international centre of class. George Ford's just pushed it to the right. Your verdict on that scoreboard, Grayson?
Yeah, solid set piece after the delay for the injury, and then a little bit of theatre, a bit of decoy, as Dorst just touched on, and then subtle footwork from Lawrence, bounces out on the pass, short pass from George Ford. New Zealand number 14 making a mess of his challenge. Very powerful on the ball, Ollie Lawrence.
Barrett kicks off for New Zealand. Ben Earl is having a big autumn, isn't he? Man of the match the last 2 weekends, and made some very, very abrasive carries so far today. 26 minutes gone. Already we've had 3 tries in Twickenham. England 5, New Zealand 12. Can England get their exit right? Alex Mitchell a little bit hurried, but the kick is decent. New Zealand line out, 10-metre line inside the English half.
Yeah, New Zealand will take that. Just the sting out of that 60 seconds, couple of minutes from England crowd finding their voice. But now you can see New Zealand just set up nicely, take a little driving maul. There you go. Penalties there.
Yeah.
Unnecessary, really, wasn't it?
Well, it just came up before the line out was over. Andrea, on the arm actually, so Simon Parker went up. Oh, and I tell you what, before we've even explained what the penalty was for, Simon Parker was taken out in the air on the arm. Beauden Barrett's then completely scuffed his kick. So England will have the scrum back. Let off for England. Let's go back to Highbury Stadium. Fleetwood Town v Swindon. Shojo Saka.
It is Swindon who are in control of this match. Mark Held, the Fleetwood midfielder, had an early chance, but since then it's all been Swindon. They've been showing their class, and as it stands, leading 1-0 and going top of the League 2 table.
Thanks a lot, Shojo, and a goal at Walsall for Nikesh.
Yeah, and as you heard from Shojo there, at Swindon going top because Walsall are 2-0 down now here to Colchester. This wasn't in the script. They just can't deal with the pace in the Colchester attack. Another cross in, this time from the left, and Kyrese Lisby in the 6-yard area, there to finish. Walsall 0, Colchester 2.
Thanks a lot, Nikesh Regani at Walsall. As England from the scrum after Barrett kicked it dead. George Ford, crossfield kick looking for Roebuck. Roebuck's got it. He's then melted by Fainga'anuku, but he got it away to Marcus Smith, who stays big in the tackle. Clever stuff from Ford, but you saw Fainga'anuku realise that Roebuck was going to get it, and then the big tackle came in by the All Blacks winger. England through Baxter, just trucking over the halfway line. It looks like Ford's going to the air again here, Paul Grayson, and more regulation up and under. Feywa Boso now is looking to get that, he bats it back, but that's the danger of these bat-backs. It gives the ball to Roygaard, who comes storming over the halfway line and almost linked with his support. The ball is still going to bounce in funny ways, and New Zealand now kick. Beauden Barrett for Arnie Surveyor. Jamie George was there, but Guy Pepper offloads to Marcus Smith. Will Marcus Smith kick? Yes, he will. That looks solid enough from Smith, just turns New Zealand back a bit. It is all happening, Paul Grayson.
Yeah, and the setup play from England there, the crossfield kick from Ford was on the money, well defended. Then they split the field again. Ford in the pocket, goes to the high ball. And it's a risky strategy, the back when it works for you. you're away, you can get a clean line break off it, but if you're not there to pick up the pieces, sometimes it looks, it's got to be worth trying to catch the ball. At least if you catch it facing backwards, any ricochets will go your way, but toss of a coin stuff if you're whacking it back.
Well, we've spoken so much, Matt Dawson, this week about the England bench, but all best laid plans can go to waste if a player goes off injured early. Freddie Stewart has failed his HIA, he's got his tracksuit on, so Marcus Smith is at fullback now for the rest of this game, which has plenty to run. Alex Mitchell dummies, finds Coles, who left it behind, but backwards the referee said, or was it knocked on by Coles? Yes, it was. Andrea Piardi has his arm out. So again, England threatening, dangerous position. New Zealand might try and run this out. Yes, they will. Over to the far side. Leroy Carter wearing 14. He's away. He chips for himself. Oh, that's brilliant from Carter. That is world class. He's up to the 22. New Zealand have gone 60 there. And England have scrambled very well through try scorer Lawrence. As New Zealand threatened a third try, Lawrence has gone in there to save the day.
We just have to spend a little moment there on Leroy Carter, don't we? I mean, great defence from England to get back, but on the hoof, accelerating away from his own 22, full tilt, chip and catch to yourself. I mean, that is some of the skills on show this afternoon have just been off the charts.
Except that absolute shank from Beauden Barrett that didn't get quite enough coverage from Chris Jones.
I was trying to concentrate on the positives.
But yeah, I think you're right. 12-5, close game, but there's been a lift in the quality of some of the individual skill compared to what we've seen this autumn. They've got a knock-on.
Yeah, chalked off the penalty.
Let's have a look at this. So instead of giving Ollie Lawrence...
Oh, there you go.
They've done... OK, so when Lawrence has gone over to steal, he's knocked the ball on. Very sharp-eyed spot. That must have come in from TMO Marius van der Westhuizen. It means instead of England getting a penalty and a chance to clear, to have their own ball in New Zealand territory, it's now a New Zealand scrum. And we have seen how they come alive with this kind of opportunity.
Should that be a TMO intervention?
I mean, unless you want the TMO involved all the time.
In everything, forward pass, knock on. A referee made a decision, got it wrong. He's human.
I don't think there's many people who watch the game who want more TMO. You know, that includes coaches, players, supporters. Let's go back to Fleetwood and Shojo.
Fleetwood 1, Swindon 1. The goal a little bit against the run of play. A wonderful cross by Matty Virtue on the Fleetwood right, and it was met by Ryan Graydon. Header into the corner, so accurate. Fleetwood 1, Swindon 1.
Right, New Zealand scrum. We're still waiting for it to set, but you wouldn't have that Paul, a TMO coming in for a knock-on.
Ebb and flow of the game.
Yeah.
The referee missed it, so what? You ride, you look, all that stuff works itself out in the end. High tackle, etc., etc. They got enough on their plate. It's just not the right fit for me.
You're drawing attention to it, aren't you, but particularly afterwards when the coaches are saying, oh, well, you know, the TMO came in on that knock-on, but it didn't see that forward pass, or
it puts pressure on you to get every knock-on, doesn't it?
Exactly.
It puts pressure on the perfect officiating game, which will never happen. Tapia, wide, Will Jordan, they're slicing England open down this left. Fainga'a-Anuku's one-on-one with Feiwa Boso. He's gone through Feiwa Boso. New Zealand getting so much change down this left in the England 22. They've already scored 2 tries. They are sniffing a third with 7 minutes to go until half-time. England counteract. Itoje dives on it, and England snuff out that attack. Can they get their clearance right now?
Oh, that's brilliant. Counter up from England, under pressure, scramble defence, 2 metres from their own line. The desperation from England is awesome.
Let's see if Mitchell can clear. He clears, but he doesn't go for touch. So he gives Beauden Barrett a chance to run it back. Barrett links with Tapia wearing number 12. He steps and thunders into a combination of Mitchell and Itoje. Therefore, the excellent Roygaard finds Beauden Barrett. Nice hands to Ali Safed, just a bit behind him, so he hits a check. And he sets it up. And Newell drives on the tight head prop for New Zealand. But we're seeing Paul Grayson, those wide balls bringing some joy for the All Blacks.
Yeah, they've seen a disconnect on the edge between England's wingers and their fullback. And they compress England by throwing numbers at the line. And one wide pass is putting them on the outside.
10-metre line, Roygaard, Barrett, who's almost back on halfway now. Scott Barrett, his older brother. up to the 10-metre line. Roygaard goes. This is where England won't really mind New Zealand playing, though, Matt Dawson, because it's around the 10-metre line. England's defence has got this sussed. It's more when New Zealand get into the England 22, they've been making things happen.
Yeah, when there's New Zealand, after maybe 3 or 4 phases, are just struggling to find their shape and maintain their shape. And it looks like every phase England are going backwards. I say that, and all of a sudden Proctor steps out of a tackle, and that's the danger. One missed tackle and New Zealand come alive.
I do think old New Zealand sides would have kicked this ball away a while ago, but they're still playing. 10-metre line centre field, that's come loose. Penalty though, England have given a pen away. Guy Pepper can't believe it. He felt he'd got a clean turnover. Referee Piardi's done him for going over the top. Barrett can kick New Zealand into a 10-point lead if he wants.
Just been trying to keep an eye on what New Zealand are trying to do as a general strategy, and my feeling, I mean, this will be one of many ways of attack, but I think, Paul, that they're trying to target Alex Mitchell and George Ford, and whichever side they are on, they seem to be deliberately. They missed another penalty into touch there.
Well, Roygaard, the scrum half, who we were praising his kicking game, he actually was one who took the kick and he shanked it like Beauden Barrett did earlier. Here is the aforementioned Beauden Barrett. New Zealand could have added to this 12-5 lead with a little bit more kicking accuracy from their penalties. We'll go to MK Dons in a moment. Actually, let's go now as New Zealand just go through the phases down the left. Emily Herbert's at MK Dons.
Yeah, MK 1, Salford 0. Millers Lang has fired home from the penalty spot. Bottom corner, sent the keeper the wrong way. Liam Kelly brought down in the box. MK 1, Salford 0.
Thanks a lot, Emily. Marcus Smith fields it and then dribbles it down the left touchline where it's gathered by New Zealand. Here's Beauden Barrett. Wings a wide ball out to Jordan. Jordan now stepping, this try-scoring machine. Nice hands over to this left-hand touchline. The two try-scorers combining, Fainga'anuku and Taylor. Taylor then lost it. Mitchell then kicked. Back goes Beauden Barrett. Twickenham crowd trying to will on the England chasers. That's a perfectly weighted kick from Mitchell, and Beauden Barrett's kick goes out. The crowd like that one. England will have the line out just outside the New Zealand 22 as we wait for that. We've got a half-time at Lincoln. Rob Law.
Lincoln 1, Doncaster 0. Lincoln 1 goal away from climbing to the top of the table. They deserve their lead as well. Inch-perfect header from a Cronquo is the difference at the break. Lincoln 1, Doncaster 0.
We'll go for our League 2 half-times in a moment. This is the big line out for England, who trail 12-5. 3 minutes left of the first half on 5 Live and Sounds. Pepper at the tail. Jamie George's throw on the money. Heave is the cry from 80-odd thousand inside this great cathedral of Test rugby. Alex Mitchell darts to the left, finds Ben Earl. He'll almost make a metre or two. Runs into Ardy Surveyor, former World Player of the Year. Maro Itoje now, the England skipper, on the 22. Slap bang in the centre of the park. 4 try scorer Ollie Lawrence, who means business today. The Bath centre. England pick and go round the corner. Are New Zealand on that ball? No, it's still there for England. Can they get a try before half-time? How big would that be if they can go in at 12-all, for example? George Ford wants a drop goal. Here he is, George Ford. Up he steps. He's nailed it. He likes it. He turns. And England chip away at this New Zealand lead. He missed the drop goal for the win last year. He's put it right today. George Ford's dropping. England 8, New Zealand 12.
Well, I think he probably saw the clock just ticking down there, getting towards 38 minutes. And in his mind, he's thinking there's another entry for England into the 22. Where are the points coming from? Slightly disjointed, maybe. Oh, I won't know, maybe about it. Two tired teams out there that have been flogging themselves for 40 minutes. I won't complain at a drop goal against New Zealand to make it 8-12 going into half-time.
Yeah, you've got a lot to be thankful for drop goals, haven't you, over the years, with Lions in 97 and World Cups in 03. And George Ford has kicked a fair few of them in his England career, hasn't he? Those 3 in Marseille stick in the mind against Argentina. And he's kicked another one here to take this to a 4-point game. And I wonder if they'd gone for that goal, New Zealand could be 10 points.
He can do that, guys.
10 points ahead. Maybe it was at the edge of Barrett's range. Instead, they fluffed the kick to the corner. England have gone the other end, and They've kicked a drop goal. Now they've won a little aerial duel with Tom Roebuck, and now they might be able to move it. Fraser Dingwall, can he get it to Smith? Yes, he can. Lovely hands to Baywa Boso, who's scorching down the left, the Exeter man, still going up to the 22. They've got him on the ball loads. That's real positive for England. Sam Underhill, deep, George Ford, Joe Hayes, his first game against New Zealand. He's just short of the 22. Alex Mitchell to his clubmate Dingwall. Dingwall thunders into a couple of All Blacks. England finishing the half really strongly with 40-odd seconds to go till the interval. Can they eke out one more score? Ford, Marcus Smith, up to the 22. The crowd felt that tackle may have been high, but the referee was happy. Does Ford think drop goal again, Matt Dawson?
Why not? Why not? Nothing changed. It's even closer to half-time. Here we go.
Here we go. Yes, he's going for another one. George Ford. I think he's kicked that one too. He has. Oh, that's world class from Ford. And 12-5 has gone to 12-11 with 2 George Ford drop goals.
Brilliant technique. He practices an awful lot, and you can tell both superb strike. Wonderful bit of skill in the middle of that counter-attack from Fraser Dingwall. Held the ball up ever so slightly to give Marcus Smith a killer pass to make, which the replacement fullback did. But there you go. No points in the first, however many visits. Dawson, and then 2, 6 in 2. Bang, bang, George Ford. Game on.
I mean, just I love that. The continuation of England's improvement over this autumn of how to play under pressure. You know, we've not seen that from England. I bet you are going to struggle to find me. You're probably going to say Argentina in a World Cup, but where George Ford is just, to quote Grace, bang bang, have some of that, New Zealand. What are you going to do? Hold on, we haven't done anything wrong. What? It's what we're talking about. Done nothing wrong, and look up and it's 12-11.
That's so up your street, isn't it?
Oh, I love it.
So up your street to have just the ability to take points away every time you're down there. And as Matt's saying there, Paul Grace, New Zealand will go, hold on, we were 12-0 up a minute ago, now it's 11-12 at the break.
And you know, players of a certain vintage, coaches of a certain vintage, built that in as part of defend that. Okay, you can cover everything else. Well, you can't cover this. We're having some points. And it's amazing what scoreboard pressure does. Changes the dynamic of the game, changes the mentality of it. So well done, George Ford. There's a raised eyebrow when he kicked out on the full, and he not soft on tackles, but getting bumped back a little bit. Also, the quick sideways look at me, quite rightly, to say, is he going to be nearly but not quite? Well, last 5 minutes he showed that the growth in him, even at the age that he is.
His 9th drop goal for England, very important ones as well. Steve, what a first half. Oof. England start well, New Zealand come back in and score 2 quick-fire tries to have Twickenham reeling. They were 12-0 up the All Blacks. England had then scored through Lawrence, and then Ford has kicked 2 drop goals on the hooter. England 11, New Zealand 12 at the break.
Paul, we talked a lot before the game about George Ford and experience being part of the reason that he got the nod. And fine, there was a lot of nous about those 2 drop goals, but tell us about the technique required for that second one.
Yeah, because it's the ball's 25, 26 metres out, and then you get a pass that's another 10, and you've got on-rushing players. So to get the drop, to take the time to get the drop perfectly, so the ball's not bouncing in towards your shin or away from your foot. And then to commit and hit it, you can tell by the ball flight, sailed through the post 2/3 of the way up. It was a perfect strike. Incredibly difficult to do, but still worth 3 points in this game.
And the other side of it, Matt, is that there was a time during that first half where England could have got to half-time and thought, well, we've had enough ball, we've had enough chances, and we are well behind. Now New Zealand might look at the scoreboard, as you were saying, and think, hold on a second, how is it this tight?
Yeah, it slightly changes the conversation that you're going to have in the changing room, because the coaches have probably spent the last 5 minutes thinking, right, what are we going to talk about? What clips are we going to show? What are we going to do about replacements? Do we make any? Do we wait for another 5 or 10 minutes? And then all of a sudden you're thinking, do we need to keep maybe some of our senior players on, a decision maker? It just changes the emphasis of your conversation going into the dressing room. But on top of that, your body language going in. We get these little shots of the dressing room when the players come in on our monitors here, and that sort of brisk walk-in pumped up England going into their dressing room where they're already into their chat about what's going well is on the back of exactly what you've just mentioned, to try and 2 drop goals, whereas New Zealand, they're not looking around for answers, but there is that slight air of what on earth has just happened there? How is it 11-12 and they've got to regroup?
Well, we talked so much about what this game was going to be like after 60. The first half hasn't been bad, has it? England 11, New Zealand 12. Thank you, guys. We'll obviously be back for second half commentary from Twickenham. Let's turn our attention back to the football. I'll give you one more rugby score first, actually. Italy 14, South Africa 32. South Africa actually played most of the match with 14. The world champions' second red card in consecutive matches, but they have been victorious this afternoon. League One scores for you then. Firstly, as Rob was telling us, Lincoln City lead Doncaster by 1-0. They're going second in the table as it stands. Other scores: Burton 0, Blackpool 0, Leyton Orient 0, Exeter City 1, and it's goalless in the games between Luton and Rotherham and Port Vale and Wickham. In League 2, the leaders trail at the break. Nikesh Regani.
Yes, Walsall 0, Colchester 2. Matt Sadler's side shaken by Colchester's pace and fearlessness up front. They've been unable to deal with it. Goals from Samson Tovide and Kyrese Lisby. The difference between the two sides. Walsall with plenty of work to do, with Swindon breathing down their necks.
Yeah, as it stands, Swindon going top, Shojo.
Yeah, summer signing, Ryan Tafazoli netting his first goal in Swindon colours with a thumping header. They really should have been ahead before that, but striker Ollie Palmer wasted a close-range header. Fleetwood's equaliser, very timely on the stroke of half-time, came on the break. Ryan Graydon heading in, netting his 5th goal of the season. So at the break, Fleetwood 1, Swindon Town 1.
And MK Dons going up to third as it stands, Emily Herbert.
Yeah, MK 1, Salford 0. The only goal coming from the penalty spot. Nathaniel Mendez-Lang firing his 4th goal of the season into the bottom corner after Liam Kelly was brought down inside the box. End-to-end half, no real chances, poor finishing from both sides. Half-time, MK 1, Salford 0.
Let's take you through the rest of the scores then in League 2. So below MK Dons, Notts County, who trail 1-0 to Harrogate, and then Bromley, who lead Barrow by 1-0. Other scores: Accrington 1, Bristol Rovers 0, Cambridge 0, Barnet 0, Grimsby 0, Chesterfield 0, Oldham 0, Crewe 0. Also goalless in the game between Shrewsbury and Newport, and Tranmere lead Cheltenham at half-time by 2-1. In the National League, as it stands, Forest Green Rovers, managed, of course, by Robbie Savage, are going top of the league. They lead Gateshead at half-time by 3-0. It would take them top because Carlisle are currently drawing 0-0 with Eastleigh. They were the leaders, and it's Boreham Wood 1, Tamworth 1. Other scores: Altrincham lead Brackley by 1-0. 0-0 in the game between Braintree and Truro. Hartlepool United and Wealdstone level at 1-1 at the break. It's goalless Rochdale versus Aldershot. Solihull Moors lead Scunthorpe by 2-0, but Solihull down to 10. Sutton are 2-0 up on Halifax. It's Woking 1, Boston United 0. Yeovil 0, Southend 0, and York City 1, Morecambe 1. In the Women's Super League earlier, it finished Manchester City 3, Manchester United 0. That means that City extend their lead at the top of the Women's Super League to 4 points. They have played a game more, though, at the moment than Chelsea have. Scottish Championship, Ayr 0, Arbroath 1 is a half-time score. Wraith 0, Adrionians 1, Ross County 0, Morton 1, and the league leader St Johnstone are 3-0 up over Queen's Park. Second place Partick not playing today, so that would extend their lead at the top to 6 points. In Scottish League 1, it's Cove Rangers 2, Hamilton 1. At half-time, Kelty Hearts 0, Queen of the South 0, and Peterhead 0, Montrose 0. Cove Rangers, by the way, have only won one game all season, so their lead at the break is a bit of a surprise over Hamilton, who at the minute are 7th. And Scottish League 2 scores: Annan 0, Edinburgh 0. It's also goalless at the break between Elgin and Dumbarton. Spartans, the league leaders, are 1-0 up again. They lead Clyde. Stirling 0, Forfar 2, and Stranraer 0, East Kilbride 0. You're up today on 5 Live Sport, and Al Tansley has the news.
The voice of the UK.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Rescue teams in Monmouth are telling people to avoid the area completely after Storm Claudia caused severe rain and flooding across South Wales. A major incident was declared in Monmouth in the early hours of this morning. Crews are still dealing with ongoing rescues and evacuations. President Trump says he'll take legal action against the BBC over how one of his speeches was edited presented by Panorama. He says he'll raise the issue with Sir Keir Starmer. The corporation has apologised but refused to offer compensation. Here's our Washington correspondent, Sean Dilley.
They may say that the clip was edited to make it shorter, it wasn't malicious, because that's one of the key points Donald Trump would have to get over. They may say there's a much higher threshold for a public figure when discussing matters of public importance and when discussing political speech. And they're right, the threshold is exceptionally high, but it is down to Donald Trump now to decide what is he going to do, which court is he going to ask lawyers to engage.
An 85-year-old British woman has died after an extreme windstorm hit a campsite in Portugal. 2 others were seriously injured at Albufeira camping park in the Algarve. The Home Secretary, Shabana Mahmood, will announce on Monday that people granted asylum in the UK will only be allowed to stay here temporarily. The change means refugees will be returned to their home country when it's deemed safe for them to go back. And a search operation is underway off the north coast of Ireland for a missing member of the Royal Navy. Irish authorities say they had a distress call from a UK naval support vessel this morning. They're searching the waters near Tory Island off County Donegal.
For your dose of throwback energy. From the noughties till now.
Radio 1 Anthems.
Feel the rain on your skin, so it's gonna be forever. All I think you got is you. It's a station that plays non-stop bangers in the mix all day long. How deep is your love? Just ask your smart speaker to play Radio 1 Anthems.
This is 5 Live Sports with Steve Crossman.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
Belter of a first half at Twickenham. England 11, New Zealand 12. Second half commentary on the way. Already today, Manchester City put 3 past Manchester United. Comfortable win at the Etihad. They are 4 points clear at the top of the Women's Super League. Lauren Hemp scored. She was also player of the match. It was her first game back since suffering an ankle injury in September. She's been speaking to Joe Curry.
Well, Lauren, you are so back, aren't you? That's a huge win for the team, a wonderful goal for yourself, and you look like you enjoyed every minute of it.
Yeah, I absolutely loved it. It's so nice to be back with all the girls, and I think today we showed the mentality that I said at the start we needed to show, and obviously we got a clean sheet as well, which was so important for us, and we got the 3 points most importantly.
Manchester is blue tonight. You're 4 points clear at the top of the table. How excited should these City fans get about what this team is doing at the moment?
Yeah, it's so exciting. It's important that we stay humble and we know where we're at and we're in a good place as a team. So yeah, hopefully we'll continue this run.
That's Lauren Hemp. Big win for City. United third, 17 points and now 7 behind their neighbours. Loads of international football tonight. Greece-Scotland, 7:45 here on 5 Live. Big game for Steve Clarke's side, looking, of course, to go on and win qualification to the World Cup outright. From 5, Liechtenstein versus Wales. These are the penultimate qualifiers. Here's Carl Roberts.
Wales manager Craig Bellamy will be watching from the stands as he serves a touchline ban in Vaduz. And he's also without arguably his most influential player in Harry Wilson of Fulham, who's suspended. Leeds midfielder Ethan Ampadu captains Wales in the absence of the injured Ben Davies, while Brennan Johnson starts on the bench against the worst team in the group. Liechtenstein have lost all 6 games and failed to score in any of them. Nothing less than a win is good enough for Wales to keep alive hopes of finishing second in the group and securing a home semi-final playoff.
That's Carl Roberts speaking to us live. Commentary on 5 Sports Extra a little bit later. Big afternoon for Welsh sport. Rugby next. Wales-Japan at the Principality with World Cup permutations. More than pride to play for, Molly Stevens.
Oh, I should say, Steve Crossman, this is a must-win, and there's no two ways about that. In every aspect, this is a must-win game for Wales. It's so important, not just because Wales need the win they're so desperately searching for here at home at the Principality Stadium, having not won here for 833 days since beating England in August of 2023. But also, Steve, because the World Cup draw takes place on December the 3rd, and just to explain how that works, there are 6 pools of 4 teams, so it's a bigger World World Cup than normal. The top 6 teams in the world will go into the first band, and then 7 to 12th will go into the second band. Now, this is important for Wales because they are currently in 12th position and Japan are in 13th. So for Wales, they have to win, because if you drop below 12th, then you risk facing 2 of the big hitters. So it's a must-win for that reason. Japan will have a second chance after today. They've got a chance against Georgia later in the month to win that game and move up the world rankings. But for Wales, it's now or never.
Yeah, former Wales fly half James Hook is alongside Molly. Wales, such a big game, and without their captain Jack Morgan, James.
Yeah, afternoon, Steve. Yeah, we're just speaking to Molly off air now. Jack is going to be a huge loss. He was... Obviously, we lost by 50 points to Argentina last week, but sometimes it was as if he was out there on his own, and obviously he went over for that try and dislocated his shoulder. So he's going to be a huge loss today. Alex Mann is stepping in at 7, and it's a big job for him against a Japanese team who want to play fast. They'll score tries. So it's a big, not just Alex Mann, but the backline as well, just to make dominant tackles and try and slow that ball down of the Japanese attack. But it's a big challenge, as Molly said, with that World Cup draw. I know the World Cup's a couple of years away, but it'll soon come round, and it's a huge game for Wales today.
I know it's an hour and a half until kick-off, but can you sense a lot of excitement about the return of Louis Rees-Zammit? For those that don't know, such a humongous name, had to go at the NFL, didn't work out, and now he's back in red.
Yeah, 100%. I think you can't begrudge him going out and giving it a shot in the NFL, but selfishly we're chuffed to have him back. And again, we speak, we need some superstars in Wales, and Zammit is certainly one of those. And he was on the bench last week. He came on and a couple of touches, and he looked sharp. He looks bigger. He looks stronger. So obviously he's starting this afternoon, and hopefully he can get on the scoreboard and drive Wales to a much needed victory, Steve.
James, Molly, thank you both very much indeed. Sports Extra 2 for that. Then after that, it's Ireland versus Australia, but we're ready to go for what is sure to be a heck of a second half at Twickenham. Paul Grayson, Matt Dawson, Chris Jones.
Feels like that half-time flew by, Steve. That first half flew by. We blinked and we're about to kick off. England 11, New Zealand 12. New Zealand, Matt Dawson, were out there early.
I know this is a massive game for 2 reasons. One, New Zealand were out a good 2 minutes before England to warm up, and 2, you have obliterated those sweets at half-time in record speed.
George Ford kicks off from right to left. England a point behind, but they were 12 down, and then have scored 11 unanswered points of their own. That Lawrence try and 2 very smart George Ford drop goals a year on from him missing one that would have given England victory over New Zealand. He's put it right today. Roygaard kicks the touch, and now as we go into the second half, Matt and Paul, so much focus on the replacement and how Steve Borthwick uses his bench. Freddie Stewart went off early with a head injury, so Marcus Smith is playing most of the game at fullback. So far he has resisted the urge to bring anyone on at half-time. So Dingwall offloads to Ben Earl in centre field. England 40 metres out. They come to the right. Ford shovels it onto Marcus Smith, who tries to use that footwork. He's tackled by Taylor. The ball is spat out. Was it illegal? No, it's there for New Zealand. Then it was there for England. Alex Mitchell seems livid with the ref. That ball was so messy. And he's given a knock on against Alex Mitchell just to compound his frustration. New Zealand scrum over on the far side. 10 metres inside their half. They lead by 1 a minute into the second half. Paul Grayson.
Yeah, better line out from England. That was the one thing they did need to fix up from the first half. They lost a couple of crucial ones, but they won that one with ease. Played 2 phases, got to the width. Was there a knock on?
Well,
we just need to consider the action on the New player.
This is a bit like our conversation in the first half. To what extent does TMO get involved? You saw from Alex Mitchell, he felt something was wrong with that ruck, and I think on the replay, a New Zealand hand is in to knock it out. Cody Taylor on Marcus Smith. Whether his arm is...
New Zealand number 2 on the ground.
Yeah, they're going to do Taylor here.
Out of the tackle.
Well, it's foul play. It's a penalty
play.
there.
Penalty.
Maybe that's when the TMO should be coming in.
It's just one of those where the ref is right there. He's seen it. He's not seen the offence. The TMO's come in and given it. So it will be a penalty against Cody Taylor. You see his tattooed right arm. That's illegal. It's a pen, isn't it? And he's given him a yellow card. That is where it goes up a notch in terms of intervention.
Well, it's a cynical act. He knew what he was doing. The fact that he's 30 metres away from his try line, not 5, means there might be a debate about whether it should warrant a yellow card, but that to me is foul play. He's cheating, he got caught. The other one was just a knock-on.
Yeah.
That's just the ebb and the flow of the game. It was a mistake. Didn't need the TMO.
Big 10 minutes now, though, Chris. Come on.
Well, 3 words we say all the time when you're playing New Zealand: take your chances. And England have a penalty, which they're kicking to the corner. They have a man advantage. George Ford's kick is excellent to within 7 or 8. That was the first penalty New Zealand have conceded all game. So it can be nothing like a team offence, or nothing like too many penalties. It's just the fact they were so egregious from Taylor and so kind of blatantly illegal. And he was on the floor, and there was nothing borderline about it. Right, Twickenham knows this is big for England. Jamie George to throw. One at the front by Pepper. He goes off the top to Mitchell. Now they thunder into midfield through Lawrence, who scored a try today. Mitchell to the left to Ben Earl, who's been brilliant so far today. He's under the crossbar. They come in waves here, England. Sam Underhill, the open side. They're under the New Zealand crossbar. They come to the right. Mitchell's going to score himself, is he? Up to the line. Is he over Alex Mitchell? Inches short. Literally millimetres away from that whitewash was Mitchell. The referee peering into that ruck, trying to see the ball. It's there for England, and skipper Itoje, he can't risk being held up. England will go into the lead with a score here. They offload and score, and it's Sam Underhill, a big game player who loves it against the All Blacks. And England now scored 16 points without reply, and they lead.
Big players stepping up to big moments. Been crying out for this with England. I mean, I say for years, really, just time after time, big players making plays. And all of a sudden you're talking about Ollie Lawrence so many times getting over the gain line, moving his feet, moving the point of attack, making it easy for England to get momentum. And when you've got fast ball and you've got someone like Alex Mitchell ready to snipe at any opportunity, so difficult to defend.
It's for a moment of madness from Cody Taylor. Absolutely no need whatsoever to do what he did on the ground. Rush of blood to the head. Costs himself 10 minutes in the bin. England immediately sees the opportunity by being physical, hard, direct, but most importantly, Chris, fast. Everything they did was quick. Jamie George hobbling off. I think Dorse just indicating to me, so whether that was timed to be the change now or in a few minutes, it's happening straight after that try, but brilliant from England.
Yeah, he actually, Jamie George went off the field, just holding the back of his leg or up into the left cheek, and was maybe worried about it before half-time. He's now hobbling a little bit more there, whether that's taking him out for longer than would have been if he'd gone in at half-time. However, decent replacement here.
Yeah, a Lion on 2 tours, a test line in 2021. Luke Cowan-Dickie on for his 52nd cap. So England have used a couple of their replacements. Marcus Smith has been on for ages with Freddie Stewart failing an HIA. And now Jamie George limping off on 43 minutes to be replaced by Luke Cowan-Dickie. Now England have the momentum. They have the scoreboard. They have the extra man. They have this stacked bench. How does Steve Borthwick use it? If they don't go on a win from here, it'll be a big opportunity. God, and Faye Boach has come in and given a penalty away. That was daft. Matt Dawson puts his head in his hands. That was unnecessary. England don't need to give the All Blacks any needless ins here. They've replaced their 9. Roygaard, who was having a pretty good game, he's off, and Cortez Ratimer is on. Penalty New Zealand as Faye Bosa came over the top of the ruck. 45 gone, England 18, New Zealand 12 on 5 Live.
I mean, that will be. There's your warning shot, England. Senior players now, Itoje, Mitchell particularly, those decision makers, Ford, get around your squad. If New Zealand are going to get back into the game, make sure they work their proverbials off to get in the game. Do not give New Zealand anything easy with cheap discipline.
Stop.
So what's happened there? They've not
took a quick tap.
They took a quick tap, like on the halfway line. That's really weird. I don't know if they thought they would catch England offside or something, but England have...
Doesn't say much about their own line out, though, does it?
I know they've missed a few kicks to touch, but We've got Beauden Barrett can kick the ball to touch, surely, with 144 caps. He goes cross-field. Marcus Smith in a bit of trouble there, but the ricochet ended up in England's possession of George Ford. George Ford's going to have to go 80 at 10, isn't he, Paul Grayson? There's no Finn Smith on the bench. Marcus Smith, who is the sort of nominal 10 replacement, has been on at fullback for most of the game.
That's the dice you play when you go 6-2.
Sure.
There's always the opportunity or the potential for an injury to take away one of your choices.
Still 4 minutes 50 seconds left on the Cody Taylor yellow. England have scored 7 points. They'd love another score, wouldn't they, to take this 18-12 lead to something a little bit wider, because New Zealand, as they showed in the first half, as they showed in Edinburgh, they showed in Chicago, they will still make you pay once they get into your 22. Barrett flings it over to the left-hand side, where New Zealand attack through Jordan, just edging into the England half. But this is kind of where New Zealand, Matt, have been going through phases, but England have been pretty comfortable.
It's laboured, isn't it? Well, as soon as they're through 3 or 4 phases, New Zealand don't seem to have any kind of threatening shape. Yes, they've got individuals that might break the line, but it looks like one slightly diagonal attacking line. There's no parallel lines and depth.
Well, they go to the boot. They expose Marcus Smith in the air a bit, and Carter takes the ricochet and goes into the 22. So the boot has paid off big time there for New Zealand. Lord, tall, rangy lock. Into the 22 he goes. A New Zealand converted try puts them back in the lead. They work it down the short side. That's gone forward, miles forward from Fainga'anuku. Then it was knocked on, and England ripped the scrum over on the far side.
They look average at best in possession, don't they? Matt, you just touched on it there, that laboured is the word, and that played out. Fainga'anuku facing the wrong way and then chucking the ball a metre forward over a 3-metre pass. Second-class attack from the Kiwis as they make another change. This time at hooker, but they haven't got that. How long before Damien McKenzie comes on? Because they haven't got a second playmaker. Quinn Tupai has a decent pass for the ball. Obviously, they've all got a high skill level, but there's nobody helping Barrett out. And I don't think, we said it in the beginning, we said it before about Beauden Barrett. Once it gets to kind of being strategic, not his strongest asset, and it's pretty obvious that New Zealand have got advantage in the air over Marcus Smith. That's his weak point as a fullback, is that he's just not a very big guy. So it's pretty clear what they need to be doing, but Damien McKenzie brings that a bit more guile to their attack and a bit more shape.
Yeah, Beauden Barrett looks like he's sort of backing out of the position of 10. He's being first receiver, but there's no threat. The way he's turning his shoulders out, the way he's looking straight to distribute the ball or to kick, he's not an option himself, and therefore England's defence, because it comes up so quick, and particularly when they get up on the outside, out wide, very, very quick, they can cut off that outlet wide ball and isolate the New Zealand wingers. It's as if England is sort of thinking, have it, New Zealand, go on. Go through as many as you like, we can handle it.
Oh, big English scrum. Oh, they've gone to work there, they've got the penalty. Massive English scrum. And listen to the noise around this place. Not had too many scrums, let alone big contests like that. Ben Earl's loving it. Finn Baxter, Luke Howe and Dickie Joe Hayes, what a moment for that front row. Finn Baxter, underrated, but he's properly helped melt the New Zealand scrum there, and this Paul Grayson will really help England get out of a bit of bother.
It's one of those things, isn't it? Your wingers made an absolute Horlicks of a pass, and then your front row get decimated. Suddenly the All Blacks are looking sideways at each other. I mean, that is a massive statement from England at this stage, with what, nearly 49 minutes gone and changes to make off the bench. That's a real flex.
Yeah, you feel, 10 minutes in. There's probably a bit of momentum here for the next 5, 6, 7 minutes that England can still dominate before the fatigue sets in. And look out, bench.
They get their line out right. Here goes Tom Robins, got Ben Earl tracking. He leaves it behind. George Ford's going to score. Oh, this one will be reviewed, but Ford is in. He's under the post.
He's ripped it out of his arms, hasn't he? Surely.
We'll check it.
Yeah.
It'll be checked by the officials.
I think the ref was going to give it. I think the ref was going to give a knock on there. But the reaction, not just from England, the reaction from New Zealand, they knew that was a strip.
About this, if it's ripped by Black or if there is a knock-on. So we need to check if there is a clear rip by Black or is a knock-on by White. The on-field decision is right because the ground used it. Okay, Marius?
I've got a feeling you're going to hear a cheer here.
Just check please if it's a rip or a knock-on by England.
Huge moment. England, if they get this try, we're 25-12 up on 50. It was a line-out move. Tom Roebuck just sliced through. Pretty straightforward, wasn't it, Grace? And then England kept it alive. The ball went to the ground, looked like the move had broken down. George Ford came dancing through under the post. And Twickenham now wait.
New Zealand getting all at 6s and 7s in the back of the line-out. Ben Earl goes to get the ball, and Beauden Barrett has tried to strip the ball out. This is lovely offload from Roebuck, wasn't it, to the inside of Ben Earl, who thinks he's away.
Let's listen in. I think. Well, it's just tight, isn't it? Yeah. It's definitely a rip from Barrett. It's whether Earl knocks it on. Let's listen. He's given an on-field try, so it's got to be clear and obvious for it to be not given.
Yes, Andrea, I would just like to take you back to the line-out as well. There was an offside at the line-out by England. So I'd just like us to clear that off first.
Yes, okay, perfect. So I speak to the captains and we start a penalty against England for offside. So no try, guys. There's a knock-on by 8.
Well, they've given a knock-on. They've also given offside. I'm imagining a wait too early. Roebuck's encroached, doesn't he?
Yeah,
he's gone way early.
They've tried to creep into that 10-metre.
The first touch is by
That's
8.
a very good spot from the TMO.
That is a clear offside in the line-out.
Exactly why we have a TMO in our game, to pick up things like that. Very clever from England. A lot of the time you'd get away with that. But Tom Roebuck's probably 3 metres offside. England can't complain.
All Blacks breathing massive sigh of relief. They're under the pump. If that was 25-12.
That's got to be the game,
staring down the barrel,
25-12 with Twickenham buoyant and England's tails up, but it's only a 6-point game. And you have to keep playing against the All Blacks. Because they will hurt you if they get opportunities, as
New Zealand's kicking to touch has been appalling. I've no idea what's going on. England aren't struggling. They've had 3 different kickers, all of them.
But the bizarre thing is, when they're kicking from open play, we were waxing lyrical about Roygaard's left boot, and then when it comes to kicking to touch, they just can't do it.
They're getting another shot at it because Will Jordan took it from the wrong, miles away from where the penalty was conceded. Whether he actually wants to have another shot at it, but this time as a half decent.
I'd love to slap. Beauden Barrett has played a huge amount of Test rugby at 10. He's won World Player of the Year as a 10, but for some reason he can't kick the ball to touch today.
He's got a heavily strapped right leg around the quad. He might not be fully fit there.
There's got to be a reason, that's the point. There's got to be something to explain why they've not managed it. Right, they go over the top, Ardie Savea takes it. New Zealand only trailed by 6, even though England have had so much the better of this second half on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. 18-12 to England, 50 minutes gone. Swing Low Sweet Chariot around Twickenham. There for Ratimer, here is Proctor, just short of the 22. They pick and go through the middle. Taki Iho is on as the replacement hooker. Josh Lord, a late inclusion in the starting 15 because of Holland's illness. Here's Scott Barrett, the skipper, tackled by Alex Coles, but there for Ardie Savea, who goes through the ruck. He's been well nullified today on the whole, has Ardie Savea. Lord again. It's a dangerous part of the pitch, but not a huge amount of danger from New Zealand. That's more like it. They go cross-field from Barrett, and it was knocked on by New Zealand and Tapia over on the far side, but he wasn't a million miles away from gathering that cross kick. Let's go back to Lincoln and Rob Law. Rob.
Lincoln 1, Doncaster 1. The visitors are back in it, and it's Brandon Hanlon off the bench to slip the ball home from inside the box. Lincoln 1, Doncaster 1 with 70 on the clock.
Come here, guys, we go.
Well, here we go, Chris. Who have we got here? Curry, Stewart, Pollock, Genge, all stripped off, ready to go, white shirts, bright. Pollock bouncing around, pumping his chest, waiting to get on, and love the enthusiasm, but you've also got to look at the scoreboard, look at the context of the game. It's there to be won. They have to, the bench have to go on that pitch and win the game.
Coach! Isn't that great? What a transformation. We've heard boos for substitutions here, not in the recent past. Quick camera goes to the 4 lads ready to come on, and there's a buzz around this place.
Well, they've gone to work at the scrum again, England. And unless the ref feels that they're on the angle, that could have been another penalty, but I think it was sort of waiting round, didn't it?
New Zealand are trying something funny in their front row there. That's the second time they've sheared round to the left. A clockwise wheel. They're just trying to do something unorthodox because they know they're under pressure.
Well, we talk about what England have got coming on with the POM squad. New Zealand have got Wallace Atiti, who's brilliant. Damien McKenzie, who has been their Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, hasn't he? Poaching points to win big games. He's ready to come on, as is Tosi, the tight head, and Cody Taylor's going to come back from his yellow. So, 2 quartets are primed and ready to go at the scrum, where England have won a penalty recently. Let's listen into the ref.
Guys, time off for a second. Come here. Keep the feet under you, elbow up, okay? Otherwise it's 50-50, okay? Carry on.
Well, Andrea Piardi laying down the law. Scrum to come, back to Robert
and
Lincoln.
Space on this side, there's no space, okay?
Lincoln 2, Doncaster 1. Doncaster were level for all of 60 seconds. Robbie Gotts, the second half substitute, on the end of a goal-mouth scramble to stab the ball in. Lincoln 2, Doncaster 1.
Thanks a lot, Rob. England scrum, right, 5 metres from their own, from the far touchline, 20-odd metres from their own line, 53 minutes gone. England 18, New Zealand 12. We're edging towards the hour mark, those championship minutes. Surely England have got to put the game away here, as Mitchell throws a dummy and almost gets away. Running from his own 22, Alex Mitchell. Just got to show a bit of composure here, England, to clear their lines if need be. As Sam Underhill, Surveyor's on that ball, I think, but England just about clear him out. He almost played possum a bit there, Surveyor, and let Underhill come on to him. Alex Mitchell's kick looks perfectly weighted into the Knight Twickenham sky. Great contest over there on the far side. Jordan and Roebuck. Is that back with New Zealand or with England? England working hard. They may have turned this one on their side. England, yes, they have. There for Mitchell. Wide to Ford. Might have numbers here, Ford. He looks crossfield into some green Twickenham space. Faye Bosa Herring on. 50-22's on here, is it? Great kick from George Ford. Dribbles out of play. And if the ball wasn't passed back in, that's a 50-22, and that is an England line out.
Great in the moment decision making from George Ford. He knew there was space out wide. He looked for the pass first, then thought about the crossfield kick. The kick pass, then realised the bottom left-hand corner was wide open, so he had 3 looks, picked the last kick. Cowan-Dickey's going to the touchline to get the ball, so it was a 50-22. Superb stuff from the England 10.
Beauden Barrett has almost a bit forlornly trudged off, so McKenzie might go to 10. Pepper at the line out. Alex Mitchell to Ollie Lawrence. Lovely ball under the post. England score through Fraser Dingwall, and that could be the Test match. Beautiful move off the line out. Lawrence taking All Blacks with him, and Dingwall's under the sticks for a huge try. And England have a handsome lead now.
What an assist from Ollie Lawrence there. How many times have you seen it? Ollie Lawrence on the crash. You probably talked about it, Chris. Mitchell to Lawrence, crash it up, bang. Mitchell to Lawrence, crash it up, bang. Mitchell to Lawrence. No, little shift, lovely little ball. New Zealand have fallen for it. 1, 2, 3, untouched for Dingwall under the sticks. Beautifully drawn by England over many, many months for this one moment for it to work.
just getting things right, isn't it? The breakaway from the scrum with Mitchell when it was under pressure. Then they recycle the ball so they could get the perfect box kick away, get the 9 back on his feet. Roebuck wins the challenge in the air. England, the battle for the ball on the floor. And then when they've got that moment of advantage, the right choice from George Ford, and then the perfect call, as you say, Dawes, paint the picture in the first half and then change it on the fly. Brilliant stuff from England.
Well, we chatted with Steve before the game. Can England be in touch on 60 to then send on the bench to win the game? They're not just in touch, they're miles clear. And they bring on 4 replacements all at once. And England have had to wait 13 years to beat New Zealand at home, Matt Dawson. They don't do it from here, they never will.
Oh, don't tempt fate like that, Chris. But it's primed opportunity, and not only are they 11 points ahead. Oh, there you go. Kick out on full after all of that. New Zealand get an opportunity on England's 22. But that aside, England have been in total control of every facet, with the ball, without the ball, tactically. Just pick a man of the match at the moment. Everyone's been brilliant.
The lead is 13 points. Scoreboard took a while to update that Ford conversion, but he couldn't miss from under the sticks. England 25, New Zealand 12. Not even an hour played. England have a very healthy lead, but New Zealand have the line-up. We know what they can do. They've scored 2 tries, but they've not scored in a long time now. England have scored 25 unanswered points. From 12-0 down, they're 25-12 up. The All Blacks throw to the front of the line now they go through their phases. Tosi, the tight head, he makes a few metres just to the right of the sticks in centre field. Here's Lakai, here's Ardi Sever trying to get their big boys on the ball, are the All Blacks. Ratimer digging, but no, they pick and go around the fringes. Tom Curry is on and putting his body on the line as ever. Penalty against England as England infringe on the floor. So New Zealand have penalty advantage. And they go to the left, and Scott Barrett. Barely 15 metres out, New Zealand. Lakai, he almost saw a soft shoulder there. To within 10 goes the big number 8, Ratimer. Satiti, he will make something happen with the ball in hand for sure, Wallace Satiti. Carter's on this right touchline, desperate for the ball. But New Zealand a penalty advantage. They score next, and the game is still well and truly in the balance. Draw back from Scott Barrett, wide ball from Mackenzie. England deal with that. The Hail Mary from Mackenzie just found grass. But it is a penalty, Paul Grayson, to New Zealand, only 10 metres from the English line. Slap bang in the centre of the Twickenham Park.
Yeah, it's a tough one from that box kick that Mitchell put straight out. I've got half a mind that he thought he was in the 22 and it was a legitimate clearance, but he wasn't. Handed the advantage back to the All Blacks. Still nothing more than pedestrian when they're in possession, though. England happy for them to have the ball. They don't go for the posts.
They don't, they go for the tap. Cody Taylor, Satiti's the dummy runner. Lakai comes on a short ball, 6 metres out or so. Curry's making the tackles. Here it is for New Zealand to the right. Damien McKenzie, tape job round his head. He's lost that forward. England might be able to go to the right here. Ben Early's found Pollock, and Pollock's up against Lakai. Here's Henry Pollock. Pollock, good ball out there to Roebuck, who's down the right touchline. Roebuck over halfway inside to Pollock. He loses it, but England have gone 30-40 metres there, Matt, with the counter-attack.
Yeah, lovely. And not just the counter-attack, but the vision and the intent from their own 22. Heads up. Not just, I think it was Ellis Gens who got the ball and spun out a little bit of a bullocking run. And he was the guy that sort of thought, hold on a minute, there's like a little 5-on-2. Let's give it.
And the tackle was not early. It was as he had the ball.
Yeah, Gens found Ben Earl's vision out to Pollock. And that's what Pollock's dreaming of, isn't it? A chance just to run. But he sensibly gave it to Roebuck. I think he felt he was taken early, but he wasn't. He lost it, and then Lakai hit him into touch. So all fair, the officials check it. Hour gone, England 25, New Zealand 12. Paul Grayson.
And that just, New Zealand have an organised tap and go play in England's 22. And within 2 phases, they have no shape at all in their attack. 13 players in the 15-metre channel. So when Damien McKenzie just ran on his own and dropped it, England have the whole of the right-hand side of the pitch in which to counter-attack. Shambles, New Zealand.
Well, we're exactly an hour away from kick-off. Wales against Japan, commentary on Sports Extra 2. Huge game for Wales for all kinds of reasons. And then following that commentary on Sports Extra 2, Ireland, Australia, fascinating fixture from the Aviva. Talking of Wales, it's a massive game for their footballers away in Liechtenstein. That's a 5 o'clock on Sports Extra. And Greece, Scotland from Athens is on 5 Live at 7:45. That's followed by Ben Eubank 2. The main event ring walk expected around 10 o'clock, but the undercard from 7, really good undercard as well. That's on Sports Extra. So much great live sport across our networks, and there is live sport all the way through the night here on 5 Live. As ever, you will not miss a thing with us, and you will not miss a thing in this final 20. England 25, New Zealand 12. Massive English scrum, penalty, and look at the celebrations. Ellis Genge, like a footballer in front of the home end, going to the crowd, geeing them up. England win a penalty against the head, and another big old flex from England and their replacements.
Chris, you have watched a lot of rugby, a lot of New Zealand rugby. When have we seen New Zealand as disorganised as this? With 20 minutes to go, mind. This is not in the last 5 minutes when the game's up. 20 minutes to go. They're all over the place.
Yeah, they've been very ropey after half-time, but England have been great. And England lead by 13, and they have the territory and the possession as Ford prods it into the 22. They've got to make sure they get over the line from here, Paul Grayson. They've got to keep playing, because they've got New Zealand on the run here.
But as much as they've brought their subs on, and you want them to make a difference, if that difference is to be as good as you've replaced.
Off the top, Lawrence, he's having a big old game. Shades of Tuolangi from 2012. Mitchell to the left. Ben Earl, who's also been very impressive. Mitchell, the ball is quick. They're coming in waves. Curry loses it. All Blacks will counter-attack. Lakai out to Proctor. Proctor over the 22. He kicks downfield, asking Jordan to chase. Jordan is rapid. The ball is going to sit up for Marcus Smith, who's got to get rid of it. He's got 3 All Blacks there, Marcus Smith. He's tackled, but he does pretty well. No, he gives the penalty away. And New Zealand just remind everyone round Twickenham they're not done yet. England were rampant. Another score would surely have killed off the All Blacks. But the ball was lost. They kick ahead. They win the penalty. They can prod this to within 5, Matt.
Unfortunately, that's one of the bench coming on, giving that ball away. And you're watching them warm up, and they're all bouncing around, and Curry and Pollock and Stewart and Genge all bouncing around, and it's high fives and smiles, and I love it. I love the energy, but you've got to bring it. You've got to bring the detail. You've got to bring the small things. And Tom Curry, I think it was on that occasion, unnecessary offload, lose the ball, lose 90 metres.
Well taken in the line-up by Scott Barrett, then he loses it and Ben Earl dives on it. So New Zealand just can't take...
How good has he been today?
Ben Earl, outstanding.
Wow.
Yeah, he's been fantastic. He's dived on that ball, England get the scrum, so... Well, whether they've been let off or whether it's their good play, Paul, it means England have the scrum, and if they can go to work and try and eke another penalty, then that would be huge to snuff out this New Zealand pressure.
Yeah, set piece an issue for England in the first half, in the line-out in particular. But they've been dominant second half in the scrum and been able to reverse their fortunes and put pressure on.
Yeah, there might well be a penalty to New Zealand here.
5 on the other side, offside.
Maro Itoje going, just sticking an arm in,
on the other side,
whilst Barrett was still in the air. Split second stuff, but 2 critical moments. Oh my goodness me, England don't like making life easy for themselves, do they?
It's a New Zealand line out now. They've not scored a point since halfway through the first half, New Zealand. They won't get many better chances. This time Scott Barrett wins it nicely and much cleaner than before. Cole's working hard to try and repel this All Blacks maul, but they're inexorably edging towards the English line. Genge's being told to get out. Penalty conceded by England. The ball is spat out, taken by Faber Bosa. Another penalty. Yellow card coming against England.
6, 8 from the side.
6 or 8. It's going to be Ben Earl. who's trudging off. Might be the last we see him, given that Chandler Cunningham himself is still to come on. He's had a brilliant 64 minutes, Ben-Earl, but
yeah, it's number 8, Andreas.
Penalty conceded, yellow card, Ben-Earl. England down to 14 for the next 10. Their lead still 13 points at 25-12.
And you trace it back. Where was the mistake? The mistake was in the opposition 22. The point I was making when England played the line out was, if your job spec is to come off the bench and maintain what's already winning you the match, that's what you've got to do. You don't need to look for something beyond it. It was Dawes' point of Tom Curry looking for something that England haven't tried to force at any point during the game.
England a man down, but 13 points up with 15 minutes left to go. New Zealand through Cody Taylor, spin away from that maul. He's up to the line. He's pretty close there, Taylor. He's already got one try today. Ratimer out to Tosi. He's a metre shot. They're going to walk this in, are they? Damien McKenzie, short ball. Will Jordan glides in, unopposed. Try New Zealand. They're right back in it.
Yeah, I mean, England fans don't like it, but there is just some hard looks at one another under the sticks. Maro Itoje. You know, the captaincy is, of course, vital in rugby, but this is one moment he has got to get right. And I don't care about Pollock chasing the kick down. He needs to be in that huddle, understanding what that team needs to do next. It's the kick-off. It's how do you pin New Zealand in their own 22, set up England's defence, which has been absolutely rock solid. And for all the chat throughout the week around this, in quotes, POM squad, the POM squad have yet to deliver. The Lions from Australia have yet to deliver, and they've got to step up pretty darn quickly.
14 massive minutes to come. England 25, New Zealand 19. McKenzie kicked the goal. Wow, what a finale we've got. What a finale we had between these two teams a year ago. Missed penalties, dropped goals just wide. New Zealand edging that one by a couple. England had a 13-point lead, which has been cut to 6. And New Zealand, having been outplayed for the whole of this second half, are still well in this contest as they bid for a first home nation's clean sweep in 15 years. Ratimer's kick, England line out, a chance here. Paul Grayson bring them to calm down, go to their set piece and try and extend their lead.
Well, they eked out a couple of extra seconds hanging around under the goalpost to try and run the clock a little bit, walk back to the halfway line as slow as they could. Now they get to go through a turgid line out set up to keep the clock ticking down on the sin bin, win it, drive it, waste time in the best possible way by controlling the ball.
One in the line out by Alex Coles. Not straight, but I don't think New Zealand competed, did they?
Yeah.
And I think Maro Itoje is asking that of the ref.
Right, it's not straight and we have a contest. Yes, there was a contest, mate. Of course, Maro. Otherwise, play on.
If there was a contest, mate.
Well, and Maro Itoje's got to show his leadership here. The six points ahead doesn't need to be in the referee's face. Doesn't need to be questioning things. You have to assume that this is going to be a 2-point ball game. You've got to assume you're going to beat New Zealand by 2. If you're beaten by 13 or 16, great. But there may well be a moment where you need a call. And it just feels to me at the moment that England have just that rock solid, strategic, all the decisions within the team that were going so well. It just feels a little bit loose at the moment. It feels a bit disjointed.
A definite wobble, isn't it? You lose the entire length of the pitch on one mistake and then concede an easy try and lose a man.
And they concede a penalty at the scrum. So New Zealand suddenly may be sniffing a bit of English blood. The ball back inside from the cross kick. That had found Jordan. He is away. But he lost it back for the penalty. And that's why Test rugby's at the top level is so good, because the momentum swings, the ebbs and flows. One team never storms clear, do they? There's always jeopardy. At 25-12, it looked like England were going to win at a canter. Nothing of the sort. England 25, New Zealand 19. Towards the final 10 we go, and New Zealand kick into English territory, even though, Grace, they can't get any distance on their kicking. Only just, yeah.
What's going on? I can't quite put my finger on that. Or none of us could put a finger on why New Zealand's kicking game is so terrible.
They win the line out. Ratimer to the left. McKenzie. On is the experienced centre Anton Leonard-Brown wearing 22. McKenzie, already they look with better shape with him at 10, don't they, compared to Bowden Barrett, but the penalty goes England's way as New Zealand go off their feet. And that is big for England. They've not done much to earn that pen. It's New Zealand giving it away rather than England forcing it, and it will give George Ford a chance just to calm things down, take play into All Blacks territory, and wind down this clock with Ben Earl in the sin bin, which is under 5 to run now.
It's taken a while for the referee to pick up on that. All Blacks off their feet quite a bit in offensive rooks, almost as a tactic, torpedo rooking, old school. Didn't get away with it this time, sealing the ball off. Pollock was patient, let them make the mistake. It was easy for the referee. Excellent kick from George Ford, nudging the team well into the 22.
Now this should not be going anywhere near George Ford. This should be the slowest line out in history. Take your time, drive it. In fact, you know what? Actually put it up the jumper. Physically put it up your own jumper.
Cowan Dickey, lost in the line out. It's been England's thorn in the side today, the line out. McKenzie's boot is big, much bigger than Barrett's, and it's gone miles downfield. Roebuck has to scamper around. Does he counter-attack? Does he run? Does he stick it up in the air? He does the latter. And down the throat of McKenzie it goes, just on his own 22. He sends up a little kick, asking Jordan to chase. One of Smith or Ford has to get this. Ford does it. And now Mitchell sees real space there, Alex Mitchell, but he can't find grass. Damien McKenzie is everywhere. And he gobbles it up and tries to step round Mitchell, who tries to tackle him around the ankles, but Mitchell evaded the tackle and skips up to the halfway line. 9 minutes left. England 25, New Zealand 19. What a finish we have in store here on 5 Live. Ratimer will go to the left boot to put pressure on Ford, who's isolated in the backfield. This is a tricky one for Ford, who's not a big man, but he takes it really well. He was taken in the air as well. So Ford up to the task. New Zealand give the penalty away, and England and Kane have a chance to clear it back into All Blacks territory.
Craig Manuku there, just didn't need. It was a lazy arm to grab George Ford in the air. I mean, it wasn't even really a hit, but he was in the air, and therefore he's going to give a penalty away. That's just the mind being mush.
I was going to say, as you said it before, mind mush, 70 minutes. As Itoje takes a seat and receives some treatment, taking the absolute sting out of it.
I referee the game. There is a TMO, and we carry on with the game without any conversation. Happy? Thanks, guys.
As the referee engages with Marrow, who's on his back.
Scott Barrett was in there, both the skippers, weren't they?
Yeah.
Confirmation, clear cut. There is a confirmation.
But whether he needs the treatment or not, Itoje, I think it's a good tactic post that penalty, just to settle everything down, make this little break as long as possible.
I always listen, I think people have heard this numerous times from us in these types of breaks. It's a fantastic opportunity just to take a breath with 9 minutes to go, but no one's sort of taking charge with the England side. No one, it's their penalty. I'm sort of expecting there to be, okay, you know, this is what we're going to do. All clear, but there's, you know, a couple of the backs that are taking a drink. Dingwall standing with his hands on his hips in the middle of the field. You know, it still feels, and I'm sounding like an old record, the broken record, but it's so important in this latter stages just to get these boring bits absolutely spot on.
That's the first part of it, the kick to touch.
Great kick.
In between the 22 and the 10, but the line out wobbled and creaked, even when Jamie George was on, who's famed for his throwing. Luke Cowan-Dickey, can he find his man cleanly? Yes, Itoje calls it to himself and dominates the air. England 25, New Zealand 19. 8 minutes to go. Another England score would surely seal it as the maul edges forward. Not far from the 22 now, England. They wait to the maul against Fiji to great effect. Mitchell kicks. He wants Roebuck to chase this in the New Zealand 22. Roebuck's almost got it. Ricochets everywhere. Knocked on by Roebuck. Oh, England wait to the boot. Only 25 metres from the All Blacks line. Roebuck is great in the air. Mackenzie good too. Excellent contest. Knocked on Roebuck. But the scrum is just where England want it to be. 7 or 8 metres from New Zealand's line. England lead by 6.
Decent tactic for me. It wasn't a full box kick. It was just a little half a 9-9, just to take the spin off it. And Roebuck could just get his eyes really locked in. Lovely arcing run. And was very unlucky not to create the crumbs, as they call it, for someone like a Pollock or Curry to hoover up.
Another change for England, Paul. Spencer on, Mitchell off. Every game Mitchell has becoming more and more a sort of test 9 of repute, isn't he?
Yeah, yes, definite influence on the game, and you can see him growing into that role, his decision making and his ability to run, which he has to override sometimes, and do things at club level you just don't get away with at international level. He's been very selective about when he uses it. He does it really well. He's been good value for his 72 and a bit minutes.
7.5 to go on this terrific day of sport on 5 Live. International football to come, boxing to come. I'll build up to the Ashes, ongoing all the time. Next Friday morning, but the TMS podcast has you covered. Rugby Union Weekly podcast with all the reaction to this. As England put some pressure on at the scrum, Pollock's got Ratimer. He's holding him up. He's looking for a scrum of England's own. Ratimer at the bottom of that ruck, looking to the referee almost despairingly. 7 to go, 6 points in it. New Zealand practically on their goal line. They'll surely have to kick to touch. Ratimer or Mackenzie will do the honours. Ratimer, nice angle for his left boot this. He kicks, hasn't gone miles. England will have the line out just outside the New Zealand 22. And they've got a great chance to kill this game off, albeit a man down for 1 more minute.
Yeah, it's just rinse and repeat. Win that line out. Itoje all day long. Shove it up the jumper, slowly grind New Zealand away, keep the ball available, maybe another little cheeky box kick into the 22.
Just don't forget it's only a 6-point game though. You've got the momentum back, you're in control. He'd love to squeeze that score out to be on 7.
He's got to be looking at a hat-trick of drop goals, George Ford, if he gets an opportunity, because that would win the game. There might not be time for New Zealand to score twice, but it's only a 1-score game at the moment. Line out won by Curry under real duress, but it's a penalty as New Zealand close the gap. Ford's going to have a go for his hat-trick of drops. He is right in the pocket, but the penalty's been awarded, and surely Ford kicks this now.
There's his chance, and he'll fancy it. I think it's what a lovely opportunity to right, to say the wrongs of last year, but hitting the upright last year, you know, the game is 6 points, isn't it? It should be won, but as Paul Grayson mentions, to go to 9 really does seal it.
Sport's weird, isn't it, how it gives you the opportunity.
Yeah.
It's like, do you remember last year? He's in a situation now where he's already nailed 2 drop goals. He's got an opportunity, having steered the ship really well, to kick England into a position that's not completely unassailable, but with only 5 minutes to go, a real uphill battle for New Zealand to wrestle back control of the scoreboard and win the game and give themselves a chance of a Grand Slam. Somebody down receiving treatment, which I don't know whether that's good for George Ford or not. Never liked a long break. Once a penalty's been given as a goal kick, I'm like, give me the ball, let's get on with it. You can carry on treating that guy over there, just let me kick my goal.
So Tom Curry is down. Must have been from the line now, where he kind of came down a little bit unaided, didn't he? 25-19, the clock is stopped on 74 minutes and 12 seconds. Curry still getting some treatment from a couple of medics. The ball is down, Ford will take his time, he's having a swig of water. And he's got a kick that will take 6 points out to 9 points. And with the minute to kick, It'll be very hard for New Zealand to score twice, won't it, Matt?
Yeah, certainly will. The way that England have used the clock really well from the moment that New Zealand scored that try, and obviously the conversation under the post. Yeah, a deep breath, a realisation. Let's sort our defence out. Let's be disciplined. We've got them at the scrum. We've got them in a maul. Keep it super simple, and the game is England's.
Well, this should be it. This should be for the win. 15 in from the far touchline, 25 out or so. George Ford at Twickenham goes quiet. The gap is 6. This to take it to 2 scores. George Ford, ball pointed forward to the right. Up he steps, head down. The strike's a good one. The crowd will tell you it splits the post in half. A year ago he had a couple of kicks for the win. It didn't happen for him that day, but he's put it right today, and how. He's been regal. A couple of drop goals were massive at the end of the first half. He's banged over a huge penalty there. England lead by 9, and surely they're on course for just a 9th win ever against the All Blacks. And Fraser Dingwall's gone up at the restart. And now, Matt, with 4 minutes to go, this is just about England using their smarts and getting over the line.
Yeah, the classic minute drill. Go through the rucks, go through the phases, put the box kick up, get a great chase. There we go.
Spencer's kick away, Carter's under it, and look who's up there, Tom Curry melts Carter. They're over that ball, England. And this surely is done now with 4 to go, and England are on the brink of a 10th straight win, a first over New Zealand in 6 years, and here at the home of English rugby, a first since 2012. England 28, New Zealand 19, as New Zealand try to attack through Jordan. Pollock's on that ball looking for the turnover. Lost, says referee Piatti, but there's just that edge, Paul Grayson, now of desperation from the All Blacks, because they've got to run it from here.
Yeah, they have to go. They've got no choice. Makes it really clear in defence what you've got to do. Hit hard, hit low, stay disciplined.
Well, New Zealand, the ball breaks down. Pollock's onto it. He's kicked for himself. Henry Pollock, the ball's out to Roebuck. Roebuck's into the corner. It's definitely done now. And everyone around us is on their feet. The loose ball, kicked by Pollock. Great pick up, Roebuck, into the corner. And what a moment this is for this England team. They put New Zealand away with a bit to spare now. England 33, New Zealand 19, and it's a first win over the All Blacks in 6 years. And England are going 10 on the bounce.
Oh, it's suffocating from England. Their defence all over the opposition. Nowhere to go. Every time a guy in a black shirt looks up, he's got 2, 3, 4 England players around him. They just don't know where to go. The conversation under the sticks after that Will Jordan try, they are the moments that we spoke about. They are the defining moments that can dictate not just today, but how this England team moves forward, going into a Six Nations, going into the World Cup. England have never, for decades, have not had this foundation. They've not had it, of how to win games and get them through, a few bumps in the road during the game. England are suffocating New Zealand.
Paul Grayson, 33-19, 2 minutes to go. Party time round here.
Yeah, absolutely. And that last few minutes of the first half, then that fix-ups at half-time. England have been in command, and they've assisted the All Blacks in making them look extremely ordinary. The All Blacks have been culpable in that. This is about as average as I've seen an All Black team play at Twickenham. Notwithstanding that, 33-19, thank you very much.
Chandler, Cunningham South coming on as well. So bench unloaded. I think it might be a back who's going to come off. Ollie Lawrence having a little bit of a limp. Yeah, it's all right.
Earl to centre.
That's probably just what the All Black midfield want to see. Someone like Ben Earl, sprinting ball in hand, all ready to make a big hit in the midfield. Up he goes.
Well, it was 38-21 in 2012, a 17-point win. England's margin today, 14 points. But in a way, just as impressive as that win 13 years ago. The All Blacks trying to play it out of their own half, but playing out of their own half is what got them in trouble before, because they had to, after that forward penalty, that was the moment that forced New Zealand to chance their arm.
I mean, listen to the crowd. There's a bit of disbelief. It's quite quiet in a weird way, which is lovely. I think the chitter chatter around the England fans are like, this side is really good.
Yeah.
England, there is a lot to look forward to here.
Yeah, it's the best England have looked in a long time, isn't it? Since the great team of 03, they had that spell, 16 and 17, where they won 18 wins in a row and won a Grand Slam and a title. But they didn't take New Zealand's scalp in that time. And they're definitely taking it today. England 33, New Zealand 19. And you don't get many of these in your career, do you, Paul Grayson? The game done against the All Blacks, the crowd singing, and I suppose the player, you've got to stay on your game, make your tackles, but you can't afford to look around and go, well, it's a pretty cool moment.
Yeah, you got a 3-shot lead walking down the 18th, and you put your second shot on the green, have a quick look around, drink it in.
Where are you playing? Just to complete the analogy, are you at the old course here?
No, Duxbury Park, Chorley, Municipal. Don't let them score now. 10 seconds left.
Don't have a 3-putt.
Yeah, exactly. Finishing with a bogey, yeah. England 33, New Zealand 19. The time is up. So England have got the job done, but they would love just to keep New Zealand out and just keep them to 7 points the second half. The line-out is loose for New Zealand. Cowan-Dickie's onto it, and Earl turns around and smashes it into the south stand, and arms aloft from England. Marcus Smith and George Ford embrace. Itoje, England's talismanic captain, hugs Pollock. Pollock punches the air. New Zealand deflated. Fantastic performance from England, and Steve Borthwick's all smiles because England have beaten New Zealand and beaten them well. It's their 10th win in a row, a first over the All Blacks here in Twickenham in 13 years. A magnificent second half performance, and George Ford is the player of the match 12 months on from a really tough afternoon for Ford, where he missed a penalty, missed a drop goal. What a way to put that right, Matt Dawson. Nailing drop goals, nailing penalties, playing 80, marshalling England to a 33-19 win.
Yeah, and I think first and foremost you've got to tip your hat to Steve Borthwick with his selection, and particularly that selection at 10. He knows his players, he knows the improvement that George Ford has had over the last 18 months or so, revelling in the opportunity of being the man in that number 10 jersey. And he was magnificent today, orchestrated a fabulous win for England, a convincing win for England, which it's not just 80-odd thousand England fans that are going to be very interested as to what England are going to do in the coming months and years, but the rugby public around the world are just going to have half an eye on that sleeping giant in a white shirt.
Yeah, what message have England sent today? 10 in a row, and yes, they've beaten France here and beaten Scotland and won in Argentina, but this feels like their statement performance of 2025.
Yeah, win the next game, show some growth, back up the words that we hear over and over again, and England are delivering on it, and what they're growing is strength in depth. There are many places across the field that are up for debate. Should it be this player or should it be that player? That competition over 23 players, 28 players, that's a massive strength to have that, to have the depth where you can perm any 15 from that elite group and still paint the same pictures. Said it in commentary, making the right calls at the right time. Fraser Dingwall going under the post untouched because it was a sucker punch after Ollie Lawrence has done all the heavy lifting. in the first half and the build-up to that, and then has the skills and the subtlety and to carry out a short pass called by his 10 probably, but the right shot at the right time. Genuine growth from England. Only one little wobble when the bench got slightly carried away, cost them 80 yards and a try, and took their best player up until that point, Ben Earl, off the field. But they'll learn from that. There's no point the POM squad being over-aroused and making a mess of it. They did briefly, but then everything you asked for, Matt, from Maro Itoje and the guys to close the game out, they did, which is a great sign.
Yeah, I was suitably impressed with that, because every team does it. I mean, nobody plays a perfect game, and England were very much in control, and there was a lot of expectation about those players coming on, and there was just the tiniest of loss of focus. But the quality of the individuals that then came on realised that, well, hold on a minute, hold on just a moment. There is a job to be done, and need to zone in on the next 15 or so minutes, and they did that extremely well.
Great stuff. Matt Dawson, Paul Grayson, loads more to come through the evening. The Rugby Union Weekly podcast on the way. I'm going to dash down to the tunnel, Steve, and speak to England players and coaches after a big old day for English rugby here. 10 in a row, only a 9th ever win over the All Blacks, a first here in London since 2012, and they've done it with a bit to spare. England 33, New Zealand 19.
OK, Chris, you leg it. I'll talk to Paul and Matt. We're going to be reacting for this for quite a while in the next hour of 5 Live Sport for sure. We'll bring you the live interviews. We'll bring you the football full times in a moment as well. Matt Dawson, you said that World Rugby is going to sort of raise half an eyebrow. What message have they just been sent by England today?
I don't think it's just today, actually, Steve, just sort of thinking about it, because New Zealand weren't at their best. England made them look relatively average at times because England were playing so well, but New Zealand weren't at their best. But it's from Argentina in the summer. It's putting Australia comfortably away. It's Fiji being blown, and a very good Fiji side being blown away and with real control. And then when the big guns come to town, England again have complete control of the game for large parts of 80 minutes. They're 12 points down, by the way. England are 12 points down, turn around and win it 33-19. That is a sign of a quality outfit. And your France and your South Africas and your Irelands of this world, they'll be looking at this game thinking, wow, where are England weak? How do we exploit England here without them being ill-disciplined themselves? But how are we going to break that defence? How are we going to defend these box kicks and chases, and how are we going to possibly scrummage against the likes of Gens and Stewart when they're coming on with Cow and Dickey? Now, there are so many attacking weapons in England's armoury at the moment. They are getting very close to being a South African type outfit. They're not there yet, but they are looking like, if they carry on that path, that they're going to challenge.
Which is probably, Paul, the biggest compliment you can give a sporting outfit. You're on the path to being something like the South Africa team.
Yeah, it's absolutely that. Who have changed the landscape of rugby, and Rasmus, their controversial at times head coach, he went 7-1, 7 forwards and 1 back on the bench. He pretty much invented the bomb squad, and you look at South Africa and think, wow, will we ever have that kind of resource to play with? And slowly but surely England are growing those players. Dawson's just saying there about people have been looking at England saying, well, how can we defend what they're doing and what they've added. They've certainly added quality to their coaching group. Lee Blackett, the attack coach, brought a new dimension to it in Argentina over the summer, and that has continued. So England have really grown in that area. It's a brilliant appointment. He's an excellent coach, and you can see the players are really excited about the way they want to play the game, which means that they're not reliant on having to play a perfect game, because if they don't get you here, they'll get you somewhere else.